my nightmare.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Trigger Troy, and welcome back to Man of Horror, my horror pod where I talk all things scary. Now, I was gonna stay away a little bit longer, but I just couldn't do it. I miss you guys. I miss talking about horror, and plus, my life's been a little crazy lately, so decided to come back and do something that I enjoyed. So, welcome to the second half of season 1. With that, today is going to be another mega list. Well, the first mega list, actually. I've done mega episodes, but not a mega list yet. Most of my lists tend to be top 5. But today, I am doing a top 20. That's right. On episode 2 of the show, I did my top 5 Final Girls. And since then, I've added 15 more. So I figured today we can do my top 20 Final Girls. I love a good Final Girl, and like I said, I've already did my top 5, so I figured why not give you guys the rest. So here it goes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
In 20th place, I bring you the blonde bombshell herself, Miss Clear Rivers from Final Destination 1 and 2. Aside from the funny ass name, she didn't survive the second film in the series, but she had Final Girl attitude throughout the second film. And then in the first, she just has like a cool transformation, from timid and quiet to open and pretty much ready to take on death. And it's fun to watch. So that's mostly why she is number 20, again, because she does die eventually. Everyone else on this list, I believe, I'm pretty sure everyone else on this list does not die. Or they stay alive throughout their series or franchises or whatever the case. But even still, with her dying in the second one, she has a different transformation. She goes from reluctant to help to ready to lead the pack. And again, fun to watch. The actress Ali Lauder is enjoyable to watch on screen as well. So I'll say if you haven't seen the Final Destination films, you suck. You're a terrible person, and you need to watch that.
Shame.
No, I'm kidding. But in 19th place, we have the lovely Nia Charms from the first Purge. I loved her character. She was tough, smart, sweet, protective, but most importantly, she was black. She was a black woman Final Girl who walked across New York City during the Purge. Like, baby girl had balls. And, she had a lot of layers to her character that worked. We found out she was kind of like a like a thug girl in the past. We find out that she doesn't have any parents. She has to take care of her brother. She's an activist. It's just all these different things that we find out about her that just build up her character more and more. So hopefully there's like a Purge sequel with her involved. I'm like really hoping, but it's only been one Purge movie after that one, so whatever, we will see. And just a side note, the Purge, like, continuity is a little fucked up, right? Like, I don't know. Either way, I want her in another one. My favorite part in the first Purge is when she yells "pussy grabbing motherfucker," like, hilarious. In 18th place, another black woman Final Girl, Emily Haywood, aka M from Nope. I can't stress enough how much I fucking love Nope. Jordan Peele did such a good job, man. And ultimately, this character, like, this is Keke Palmer, baby. Like, she played the hell out of this role. And it's funny because she's a joy to watch, and like her character is very high energy and she keeps you interested in the story. But I also feel like a lot of the character was Keke Palmer in general, right? Like she was acting, but a lot of it was who she actually is. But either way, she worked with a lot of the elements in the film, and you care where she ends up, and I like her character because she's smart. She's basically fighting a giant alien with inflatable tube men, fake horses, motorcycles, and cameras. A lot of regular shit that she turns to use and survive with. So it's just it's fun to see. And I love that Kiki Palmer is a part of the Final Girl fold now. In 17th place, another from a Jordan Peele film, Addie Thomas, um, from Us. And that's Lupita Nyong'o. Man, she is everything. Man, amazing actress. And like the transformation that she underwent in this film as the doppelganger version of herself, totally award worthy when like completely award worthy. And it pisses me off that horror doesn't get, the award type of attention that it should, because alone the thing that she does with her voice and the creepy stare and her movements should have, like, the year this came out should have like swept like the fucking like Oscars or something. Um but so many elements work with this, and her main character is great to watch too, as a mother protecting her kids who actually has been the doppelganger the whole time. Like that whole switch thing, it was like it's a twist, but I kind of saw it coming, but I still enjoyed it. Um, but again, the movie is amazing, and you love to see where Addie goes, and like the smile at the end of her confirming she's a doppelganger is just perfect. Like, man, and it's weird too, because I would love to see more, but I feel like Jordan Peele isn't a sequel kind of guy, so we'll probably never know what happens next with that. Sadly. Anyway, in 16th place, and I'll say she's only down here because she played a villain for most of the movie, so there's not much of a like transformation as much as it is beginning and end, if that makes sense. But it's Mia Allen from Evil Dead 2013. And I mentioned before, I'm a huge fan of the Evil Dead series, and I love this fucking movie. And I love the story behind it. Like, I know all about it. Thing is, with Maya, originally she was kind of a stand in for Ash, I feel like a female retelling in a sense. And, it's been confirmed to be canon now. So and it's a part of the original stories. Her story is just different. But I was so iffy at first. And not even just about her, but about the movie. By the end of the movie, you end up rooting for her though, and she survives and escapes the abomination. And I believe there's like a cutscene, I think I heard, of Ash showing up, but I could be wrong. Either way, Mia's a fun character to watch, and her chainsaw hand is perfection. In 15th place, we hop back on to another black woman final girl. So needed. Carla Wilson from I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I love Brandy in this. I love Brandy in general, but seeing her in this was so fun. I've discussed this film on a list before too. But ultimately, what I loved about her character is that she's strong from the beginning. She's a bit bossy at times, but overall willing to take charge if need be. And she has like one of my favorite, or actually, I think she has my favorite chase scene in that movie. Um, and just like I said, I love how she doesn't she takes charge and knows how to follow if need be. And I love how she doesn't gaslight Julie, despite like how many times her boyfriend does it, like constantly calling her fucking crazy. All she does is just attempt to calm Julie down like a friend. So I just like her character overall. And I think it was smart for her to just play dead until everything seemed to be over. Like, she literally was like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna take a nap right here. Like, I think writing wise, the writers actually just forgot about her fucking character, and she was maybe supposed to die early on, but they decided to be nice. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. Or the Norwoods, Brandy's mom, was like, hey, my baby ain't dying in this. That was like probably in the contract. In 14th place, Cherry Darling from Grindhouse Planet Terror. This movie is like classic as hell. Literally, like, it's visually modeled after classic Grindhouse films, and it's just so fun to watch. The main character, Cherry Darling, is played by Rose McGowan, who I love. Jawbreaker fame and fucking Charmed, and just Rose McGowan is fire. And this is just one of my favorite roles of hers. She starts off as a go-go dancer, not a stripper because she doesn't strip. That's like very specific to the to the wording of the film, but a go-go dancer, and she quits and basically gets her leg eaten off after like walking home from work, and has like a wild ass like military grade gun attached to her knee. and basically has a gun leg, and it's so fucking badass. And like by the end, she's like this fearless leader of like a human resistance or whatever the fuck. But nevertheless, dope film. Check it out if you haven't. And it's actually both films in a sense of like female empowerment, final girl energy or final girl vibe or whatever. Her character is in the other film, which is Death Proof, but she dies like in the beginning of that one. But anyway, check out Grindhouse, super good. And 13th place, Haley Keller from Crawl. Yo, Crawl is fucking wild. Like the main character is a champion swimmer whose city is like mega flooded from a tsunami or a hurricane or some shit like that, and she goes to rescue her dad, but their house is flooded and filled with fucking alligators. And the alligators are fucking nuts. Like they are. There's a scene, and I'm just even surprised that she is a final girl because of this. That like a crocodile or alligator, whichever one it is, chomps the shit out of her, like drags her across the basement floor. Like, oh my god, that's crazy. It's crazy. But the movie keeps you on your toes, you know. And Haley is so good at evading them for the most part. Like aside from the scene that I mentioned, she does. There's so many maneuvers that she has to take to stay away from these fucking crocodiles, and she does that shit. Like, there's a few moments, like I said, when they get her, or I think really just that one in the basement. But outside of that, like she totally survives, and she totally fucking deserves the final girl banner. So check that one out if you have not. In 12th place, my girl Tree from Happy Death Day. This one isn't like straight up horror film. It has some amazing horror elements, but you know it's more, I guess, horror comedy in a sense. But the horror elements that really work are the fact that there is a killer, you know, and there's a big whodunit aspect of the film, and it's just a very fun ride, you know. The killer, or not the killer, the main character Tree, she has various deaths that over the course of the film cause her to grow into like a more confident and grounded character who's fun to watch and who you end up rooting for. Like, you know, in the beginning, you're like, oh yeah, kill this bitch. But by the ending, you're like, okay, somebody needs to help her. Like, she need to figure this out, you know? So definitely check out Happy Death Day if you haven't. Happy Death Day 2, it like deepens the story for what's happening. It adds backstory, which y'all know I love, but I don't think it's as good as the first one. So if you don't see the second one, that's fine. In 11th place, I bring you Geraldine from the Tales from the Crypt series Demon Knight. Geraldine is played by Jada Pinkett Smith, which I wonder if she even remembers doing this. But if you're a horror fan, you know all about Tales from the Crypt. And not only that, but you know about the Tales from the Crypt films, you know. And this is the second in the 3 films released, and by far, to me, the best. It's you know, a story related to religion and demons. It takes place in the middle of like nowhere. So many like there's like so many elements of this film that work. And Geraldine specifically is like my favorite of the film. She's basically a chosen warrior from a line of ancient warriors created during the crucifixion in charge of protecting a key imbued with the blood of Jesus Christ. Like, y'all know I love some backstory, and this one just gives us so much, and I love it. Like, literally talking about it now is getting me excited. I think I might watch it tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Now, in 10th place, one of the OGs herself, Julie fucking James. Like, from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Played by the always alluring Jennifer Love Hewitt. Julie James is like, I feel like she's like constantly changing, you know, on a constant changing journey from in both films, you know. But mostly in the first one, you know, she starts off as a good girl ready to go to college. Then she turns into a bit of an emo character, like all dark and broody and shit. And then she spends time remorseful, and wanting to solve the mystery, becomes like a detective and a bit strong, and ends up as a final girl. You know, it's a lot of phases, but it's enjoyable to watch. And then just looking back, like I recently watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, like outside of Julie's journey and her being a final girl, honestly, it's probably not the best film. Like, someone recently got mad at me when I said that because you know there's talk of there being like a sequel, and Jennifer Love Hewitt is signed on, Freddie Prinze Jr. signed on, and I think rewatching the original, it's very classic for like nostalgia purposes, but there's like not a kill for like 45 minutes, and it's just it, it can come up boring compared to a lot of horror, and then like it's honestly kind of the truth. I think we were kids and didn't really notice, but like it has a 44% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, so I think that kind of says something, right? Now, in ninth place, Alice Johnson from Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, and Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Now, while Elm Street 4 is great, and Elm Street 5 is where the Elm Street films lose their edge, other than like a couple of fun kills, Alice is a consistent enjoyment in both films. Her journey from shy daydreamer to dream warrior and mother is very fun to watch. She navigates the changes really well, and she's another one that grows on you and that you root for. I honestly feel like she can come back in a new film, which I'm personally writing. Shh, be quiet. Not like an official one, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before. I'm just working on like a spec script for a new Nightmare on Elm Street film, and I think my idea is really good, but whatever. Um, in eighth place, I bring you guys Sally Hardesty from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've definitely talked about this film on the pod before as well. Thing about this is, it looks so damn grungy and the bad quality, and it works. And then there's like, this creepy ass laugh she does at the end that she like escapes Leatherface. It's so fucking eerie. Like I feel like I always wonder like after this she had to go crazy, like there's no way she went home normal after this. She went through a hell of a night and survived a hell of a family, so she totally deserves to be on this list. But what the fuck happened to her after that? Because that laugh just and I hear it in my head and it's like a shriek. She sounds like a witch. Like it's so bad. Um, in seventh place, the baddie her fucking self, Gail Weathers from the Scream franchise. Um, Gail came on the scene and commanded attention. Like literally from the moment we see her in the first Scream to the last moment we see her in Scream 5. You know, every time she hits the screen, you're in it. And I think my favorite Gail entrance is, and this is the movie that I love her in the most, is Scream 2. And aside from that, she's a final girl in every fucking movie. She's yet to die. She's coming back for Scream 6. We can't wait to see it. And like I said, I just love her. From talking shit to her camera crew to running from Ghostface, like everything she does, relationship with Dewey, it's all like totally worthy of her character. My favorite scene of hers is actually in the first Scream though, when she's like cussing her cameraman, because my goofy ass brain immediately goes to Scary Movie when like Gail Hellstorm screams, "You're on my foot, fat shit." Oh, that shit is so terrible, man. In sixth place, Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise, Sigourney Weaver. So badass is Ripley, right? Like from Alien to all the way to like Alien Resurrection, she only grows more and more tough in each film, and like quite literally, because by the end she's like fucking half alien. Like I think the third one she's a clone, and the second one it was just a lot. But it's so fun to watch, and I think the best version of her is from Aliens, the second one, which is just like, get away from her, you bitch. But again, she is fired on the films. I'm hoping we get a comeback, but honestly, I doubt it, just because Sigourney's at a certain age at this point. But we have so much technology these days, like she's definitely still acting, so why the fuck not, right? And actually though too, there's the new one, Fede Alvarez is the director of it, and production has already started apparently. So that's exciting. Fede Alvarez was the director of Evil Dead 2013. So definitely I think good person to conceptualize a new vision of Alien and where it's going forward. So that's super exciting. All right. So I've shared my top five before, so I'll keep it simple and just say who they are. But if you want, a little bit more in depth, then check out episode 2. And with that, number 5 is Kirsty Cotton from Hellraiser. Number 4 is Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3 is Aaron Harson from Your Next. Number 2 is Sidney Prescott from the Scream franchise. And number 1, the fucking OG, Laurie Strode from the Halloween franchise.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
So, guys, I want to thank y'all so much for listening. I'm back, and it's so fun. I'm telling y'all, the second half of the season is so fire. And speaking of fire, check out my token review for the film Barbarian coming in 2 days. Remember, follow the official IG page for the pod, Man of Horror _podcast. Please rate and subscribe to the show. And until next time, stay spooky, folks. Peace.